Hello there everybody, it's me Wattles, welcome back. I hope you're doing well today. It feels so good to be back into my build world. There's really not much to see, but today I have a really fun video planned for you guys. I've been feeling really inspired when it comes to build things lately. It is because of that inspiration that we have today's video. Today I have 10 different 1.14 wall designs to show off to you guys. All of these designs incorporate something that was new in the 1.14 update. I've created a mini IKEA-like exhibit for each wall, so hopefully you can get a good idea of a potential setting for each wall, and then maybe copy it over into your own world. If you like this kind of video, drop a like and subscribe, and I'll make more build videos. And if you end up using any of these walls in your world, definitely share a screenshot over on my subreddit. That is linked down below. I'd also like to mention that the Minecraft community is huge. I am not necessarily the original creator of each and every one of these walls. So, wall number 1. If you've been following the Minecraft guide series, you probably recognize this wall. I really love this design. So, the wall itself is using cartography tables and dark oak planks. All you have to do is line some cartography tables along the bottom, wherever you want the bottom of your wall to be, and then fill everything else in with dark oak planks. I think this creates a really interesting wall design. It almost looks like wainscoting or something along the bottom, and then just your other wall up top. Now, of course, you don't need to use dark oak only. You could try out other blocks like spruce wood. White concrete blocks might look really nice with this design. So you do have some options, but unfortunately, you have a little less options when it comes to orientation. So this wall design would work on this side of a room, but if we tried it over here, it won't work. We'll have all of this stuff showing, and that's probably not desired. So this wall will only work in two directions. But this wall is relatively cheap, and with a few decorations on it, it will start to look a whole lot better. No matter what though, this wall is way better than a plain blank wall. Our second wall of the day. I imagine this wall to be perfect for some sort of brewery or something, and that is what I have created over in here. This wall design, just like the previous one, is pretty cheap. All you'll need is some smokers and then some other type of block. I recommend trying out a gray block on the top half of this wall here, so like cobblestone, and in my case mossy cobblestone. Some other options could be cyan terracotta, plain old stone, andesite, polished or unpolished, or even stone bricks. Then on the top of the wall I went ahead and placed an oak log. I think the oak log could help blend this wall into the ceiling very well and pull this color, the brown down here, up into the top of your build. And by pulling the color out of the bottom of the wall and putting it on the top, your wall will look a little bit more polished, and this could be a nice way to blend your wall over into whatever you're doing with the ceiling, maybe like quartz or just a black block or something cool like that. You don't need to use this wall in a brewery, but I think this would definitely look good in this setting, or even in some kind of tunnel or basement system. Bonus points for being able to actually use the smokers. Now this is a crazy one. Lots of movement and shading going on in this wall, but say hello to a checkered armory or vault room wall. This wall looks really strong, and that's why I say it's a vault room wall. All that's going on here is a simple pattern with furnaces and blast furnaces. The reverse side of the wall looks absolutely crazy. I don't know if you'd want to really look at that, so you should probably turn your furnaces and blast furnaces backwards to get this effect. Blast furnaces have a really interesting design with these little square things in the corner. So you could also use blast furnaces by themselves to make this kind of interesting wall with, again, those little square details in the corners. But I don't know, I think the pattern it's an interesting one for sure. The wall kind of has depth on its own without even having actual depth. I don't know what a room fully surrounded with these walls would look like. Maybe this is just an accent wall in your vault room. And just like the first and second wall, you can, of course, use the blocks in the wall. Now that I think about it, I think you can use the blocks on each and every one of these walls. Wall number 4 is something that I would imagine seeing in some sort of basic, simple house. This wall is created with some composters along the bottom, some upside down jungle staircases, and then just jungle blocks. At the top, I am using a stripped oak log beam to sort of tie this whole wall in together. I went ahead and did like a carpet flooring and maybe some computer desks, a window, a painting, because I'm really trying to emphasize the house feel of this wall. This wall is pretty similar to the very first wall that I showed you with the cartography tables, but it is a little bit different. The composters have a little bit more depth on the side and certainly a whole lot more depth on the top. It's up to you if you want to fill these composters up with things. I would probably not, because then it sort of looks like you have a lot of trash in your wall, but it's all up to you. Personal preference, it's totally your call. If you've been around the channel for a little while, I think you might recognize this wall. I did do a build video, like probably honestly in January at this point, and I showcased this concept off back then, I think, but yeah, I still think it's a nice concept. Maybe not the prettiest thing, and that's why I'm pairing this with jungle wood. I feel like the tones match a little bit, but it is an option. If we're going for function or convenience, maybe this could be the wall of, I don't know, your animal barn. Moving on to this wall, I really love this checkered wall. It's pretty simple to do. Barrels and spruce planks. That's it. A checkered pattern going on. The barrels are facing backwards. As you can probably tell, this is forwards. That's not quite what we're going for. The backwards barrels and the spruce planks create a little bit of depth and movement on the wall without even actually having to have depth again. And it's a storage wall. This could be a really, really nice wall to put in your storage room, and then maybe you place like item frames on the barrels or even above them, or don't, and you just remember and memorize things. I would never be able to do that, but you totally could if you have a crazy good memory. I put a brewing stand here. I could see this being a really nice like potion or brewery room wall as well. And just overall, it's a subtle detailing thing, but a really, really cool one. I think this wall could work fairly well on like 3 sides of your room, and then you just have like a pretty plain wall on the other side, because there is a lot of detail on the wall, but not too much detail like on some of the other walls that I've shown off to you earlier on. While we're talking about checkered walls, here is wall number 6. This is another cartography table and dark oak plank wall. So same deal as before, this wall will need to be on a specific orientation or it will not work. That's not what we're going for. So the wall will work on this side of this room that I have here and on this side as well. All I'm doing is a checkered pattern with these 2 blocks, and then there we go. We have the wall. On this wall, the pattern is way, way, way more noticeable than on the barrel wall, and that is because the direction of the planks reverse. I've seen this wall shared quite a bit on the Minecraft subreddit, and each time it seems to confuse quite a few people. No debug stick or anything like that. It's literally just cartography tables. This wall could look really cool when done on 2 sides of a room, and then the other 2 walls are something a little more basic. It just looks really cool. This wall sort of reminds me of some kind of sound room, like a studio, like for recording music or something. I don't know. It just looks really cool to me, and I'll probably be using this in the guide series somewhere. It's one of my favorites in this video. And now we are outside for wall number, I think this is 7. I forgot. I think this is wall number 7. I'm using cartography tables here as beams. The trapdoors on the sides are honestly optional. If you decided to leave the trapdoors off, you would see this cartography table stuff from certain angles depending on how your wall is facing. But I think these cartography tables with their up and down plank orientations look really, really cool as some sort of support beam. You wouldn't necessarily need to use dark oak trapdoors if you're not a big fan of the chocolate bar look. You could totally use spruce trapdoors in here as well, and that would look pretty good. Up here I'm doing some kind of roof design, so that's what that is. I'm imagining these beams blend into the roof up there, and then this is like the castle wall or something cool like that. But these up and down planks give off a really, really sturdy and strong effect to your wall. If you're tired of using logs, maybe try this out. Wall number 8 is an interesting one. This is another wall that I imagine being inside of a house somewhere, maybe in like a living room or a family room, whatever you call it. And so it's using looms and terracotta. Terracotta is optional. This could be wool, it could be like red terracotta instead, it could be really anything. There's just room for again, anything in the middle. The looms are meant to be like strips of wallpaper or just like molding or something along the wall. Little bonus points here if you'd like to go in and make some of these bottom ones look like drawers. You can do that really easily by placing some buttons on them, but do you want that look? I don't know, it's totally up to you. If you're going for drawers, you may want like beams every 3 blocks so you have smaller sections, but I don't know. I kind of like it without the drawers. You could totally come in here and say like put a window or even like another stripe of something else. Probably not stripped wood, but just for an example, you could just go with a whole stripe feel on your wall if that's what you wanted. But I really think almost any other color in the middle here would work. I just chose the blank terracotta block. And again, I imagine this in some sort of house probably, or just a general relatively modern building. When I say modern, I'm meaning anything except medieval, but I mean, hey, if you're going for medieval, this could work too. Wall number 9 is an interesting one in a way. So these smooth blocks aren't new to 1.14. They were technically added in 1.13, but 1.14 added in a way to obtain these smooth blocks in survival. In case you don't know, go ahead and smelt up a block of quartz in a furnace and you'll get a block of smooth quartz. The texture has finally been fixed as well, so we can create this really, really subtle yet interesting checker pattern with blocks of quartz and I hear that. With blocks of quartz and smooth blocks of quartz. I have these quartz pillars going up, creating some sort of like ancient Roman temple feel, or Greek, or one of those two things. The white floor, I don't know, it's just a really, really clean looking wall, and it could totally go without these beams even. This checkered wall pattern, in my opinion, already gives off enough depth and detail. But throw the pillars in and throw some lanterns on the floor, white floor as well, and you have yourself a pretty fancy Roman or Greek temple type build. And last, but certainly not least, is this wall right here. Now this is a straight up like medieval wall, European style. We have some white wool, we have oak logs, fences, spruce slabs, stone up top a little bit, and then barrels. This is pretty much the same wall that I used in my semi-automatic wheat farm from the Minecraft Guide series, if you've been following that. You can use the barrels for storage. In my survival world, I have this wall up again by my wheat farm, and I store wheat and seeds in the barrels. You can't get much more like medieval and just cool looking than this wall. I really, really like how this design looks. Arches up top, they're completely optional. You can pull them out if you don't like them. I put stone there just kind of temporarily, saying maybe this is the ceiling up there, but you could totally skip that. And the fences, you could actually skip those too and just take the beams straight up to the top if you really didn't care for the fence look. You could also probably get away with just pulling this whole beam pop-out thing out and flattening all of this. Looks a little weird in my opinion, but it could work. It could definitely work. But if I were putting this in my world, kind of like I did, this is how I would be doing it. I think that looks the best. The contrasting lines on the barrels, meaning the horizontal and vertical ones, look really, really nice. They just add a lot of detail and structure to this wall. But that is just about it. Those are the 10 different 1.14 wall designs that I have for you today. Which wall was your favorite? Would you like to see more build videos from me? Tell me the answer to those 2 questions down in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to drop a like and subscribe. The description has all of my fancy links, you should check those out. And then, finally, go have a good day. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Wattles. I will see you next time. Goodbye, everyone.